So, welcome everyone to more live code here. One more thing, that's the usual stuff, right? So I think otherwise everything should build now, except maybe use glibc, but otherwise it should be a relatively trivial patch. We have this localedef here, and so localedef is a glibc thing. Other C libraries might do that or do that differently, and might also only support other locales. The problem is, so if you normally build glibc, you get all its locale definitions. If you cross-compile it, the problem is it's using data files, and this is, by the way, the only, or at least the one major issue with cross-compilation. If it builds tools that need to run, then often packages, even glibc doesn't have any setup for that, and you would need to run this through QEMU, of course, so that is slow and cumbersome and stuff. So let's take a look here. Some people have also I wanted. This is not what I wanted. What have I even done here? I wanted git clone. So some people have the same issue. Oh, what is with me these days? Some people have factored out here some localedef, which is of course not the really nicest thing to do. Let's see, does it? What missing with glibc option? What the heck? So what I expect, so for those people, before you tune out here, you probably want to share, like, and subscribe to support all this cross-compiling stuff. And what I actually would expect is that, although yeah, probably this needs. So what they've done here is, or what I would expect is that it builds its helper tools, whether that be C or Python or whatever, and just builds its own stuff, but that's not there. So some people factored this out, probably for code sorcery and whatnot, and open embedded or some folks here. I guess config to support 6 years ago. So yeah, many years ago, other people have the same issue. And so that is factoring this out, apparently. And they didn't even. So this is the second. So we have multiple options. We theoretically maybe could patch glibc, although if those people already factored that out. I mean, it's not that many files, but I would think it's probably relatively ugly. Often it is when it comes to glibc. Another thing, we could simply delay that to post-installation. So I was. So not to ship any locale defines like EN, US, UTF-8 which is also crazy. There is even, because so if you only run glibc without those, it only has the C built-in stuff for no white character and stuff sorting. I don't even want all the currency stuff, which in my opinion mostly is useless anyway. So most people want the UTF-8 stuff, and this is also crazy, right? In 2021. So the only built-in, if you don't have any locale definitions, that is C, unc C, which is like, yeah, that sucks a bit. We could, I mean, the easiest thing, and welcome everyone, is to simply run localedef. I documented how to run that. Most people don't even know that. On my blog some decade ago. Yeah, 2010, just like a decade ago. So you run this with localedef dash like en_us, for example, -cf UTF-8, and what that should be saved. So you can put here any arbitrary name, I think. For example, you also might need this, for example, if you use like iconf to convert from some bloody Windows file to UTF-8, then I think you probably need some other locales or whatever. Maybe you need then some Windows 1252 locale as well. So we could simply do that, and that would solve all the problems for me today. And maybe I should simply do that. So this is, we have multiple choices. We could simply run post-installation localedef. We could use this GitHub, this GitHub thing here, which also does not look the super easiest. How much more does it need? I've actually not tried that before. Usually you think you just configure make install it, and of course it does not just work. glibc. Let's see, also maybe we shouldn't have done this verbose. Must point to the, I did this with glibc. What issue does it have? Specify location of the glibc sources. Version.h. But that is there. What have we done? This is once equal because. Okay, so far so good. Yeah, that doesn't even. Yeah, that doesn't even build. Thank you very much. So the crazy thing is, maybe I should do the shortcut of doing a post-install thing. So we basically could change. We anyway have a locale chooser. We could change that to run localedef for the chosen locale and maybe en_us just to have an UTF-8 locale. There's also, over a decade people wanted it, and now it's finally landing in glibc. A C UTF-8 locale, which is also, I think, the default of Muser. Also, this is crazy that it takes so long. So what that does is, that basically solves most of the issues, because again, I want my Linux in English anyway, and I don't need all the currency stuff. So Dr. Schubert says Gentoo doesn't do post installation. I mean, it's funny because Gentoo is otherwise native build, and welcome everyone. So I think Gentoo doesn't really usually need that. The only thing is it's also getting large, right? That is also maybe, if we do that, maybe we should in the native build disable the locale generation, because currently for the last 20 years, glibc, or 20 plus years or so, glibc built this locales like at install time, like configure make install at make install time. It did like 4f in supported, and here's some supported file, like here in locale data supported. So this is all the locales it builds at build install time, and not only does it take long, I'm not even sure if it's parallelized. Maybe it's run like in a for loop, completely unthreaded, then taking, not even speeding up, scaling with your threads. And most of them we will never use until the first T2 user somewhere in Netherlands, Belgium and stuff. Locales is like, yeah, thank you very much. All those locale. Also, I mean, truth be told, I would actually mostly say that most of, like all the non-UTF-8 locales are not used anymore anyway. I mean, if you in 20, like probably since 2010 or whatever, I mean, everyone's like, yeah, why bother generating those? And then I would say, yeah, the only thing we should ship is C UTF-8. And I mean, given that, just brainstorming here a little bit, right? Given that if we think about this, we don't really want to waste time building even a dozen, let alone 492 minus 3 lines. So we don't want to spend time generating 489 or so locales, to be honest. So given that, maybe we should simply do post install and save our trouble here with this stuff, which doesn't even build. The question is the font. Usually I'll use, what did I use? Source, not Source Code Pro, that was JetBrains Mono. But today I'm live streaming from an M1 Max, which is my Yeah, not proud of running hashtag peakbugs macOS, but that's what we do. So this is the default if you want to set font, but in general. So now this is currently Monaco. So the irony is after 20 years becoming one of those hipster Linux distribution developers like Red Hat and stuff who develops their Linux distribution from macOS. And exactly what I criticized for 15 years, but hey, at least we do ARM. And yeah, not proud of that. I would have had a Lenovo ThinkPad, but they don't sell me one. So supply shortage anyway. But as a pro thing, we test ARM64. So the only thing to finish that thought here is that for a full embedded system, like you ship some IoT device, some digital signage or all the other fun embedded stuff, then you usually don't have this post-install. Like if you want this, although maybe you want then it's only the C built in. So yeah, maybe we actually do this simple and not. If someone ever, maybe someone wants to eventually contract us for the IoT thing to run this, to patch this. I think, for us today, just running this post install is actually enough. What we could, however, do for feature parity and not wasting time in native builds, we could patch this localedef stuff away. That should be some makefile using the supported stuff. Although it is kind of the low-tech solution. This was locale data supported. Do we have, okay, that is lots of stuff. Yeah, so you see they still added here, like, also this is all makefile, yeah, UTF-8 locales, fun stuff. Where would be maybe in locale data. Supported locale install archive, include supported. Sometimes actually, you know what, is it optional, and maybe we just run it. Post make, here is some readme, at least prepare the locale dir. Funny that they maybe we copy the supported file for our locale chooser. That could be. Actually, do we not theoretically need a force here? Why does this not fail? Or so locale. Actually, theoretically, why did we have this GD here? This might also be outdated. We could actually try to clean that up and see what happens. Although, oops. Maybe not tool chain, so not add stage tool chain, and this might work like that. But I don't immediately see, so this must be done by glibc itself. What else do we have there? All access package games and Windows programs, step and app image for Linux, try to build Linux from scratch. Trying to load, what is LFRs to do? Import table, mode to run such programs. Tips how to do that. It's probably for another video. Probably you can already leave some comments there if you like. So okay, we don't need to do that today. So post install, so that would be I think this also means this is in general also always cleaning up stuff like this libgd thing there. The other thing is also that this local chooser should not be run for user libc and user and stuff. Stone. Yeah. Where do we have, okay, some stone mod. So I guess this should be factored out there because or actually, no, I mean we could, okay. Okay, this thing, even that is not that, yeah, so here is some set local, interesting, that is, for what do we install the supported file then? If we here use user share ITN, for what do we, I have a good question. Maybe we don't install it then, some random file less. Streamlining stuff wherever we can. Here's install locales. Was this commented out? Maybe I did. Apparently I did comment this out already. Maybe some decade ago. Yeah, blame might take a while. Install local data. Or here 49,000. Why is this? Oops, this is not big. It's stage install native something. Okay, so apparently I already disabled that because this was changed to glibc to not pre-compile also supported local leave just to the user of future store module to cut build time 20. Actually, it's not that long ago, nearly 2 years. Interesting. Did we at that time I installed the supported? Interesting. Should we? No, we always install the supported here. That goes. The question, do we need the supported file? I don't or yeah, I mean, what is this of any use? Nothing like Chinese, Hong Kong, Big Five encoding. We can also, not to cause issues, we can also, I mean, probably we don't use it anywhere. I probably only left this as for documentation purposes. So leave it for now. But the stone module, how was running that? So localedef, and yeah, I mean we could. I know this. I mean this is simply separated by the dot. Probably. What do we have? You only would need to choose it then. Did I, yes, by the way, did I fully build that? I started. Did everything else build? I think I built x32. Oh, no, I didn't build. Oh no, maybe I didn't build this, but doesn't matter. Firefox, yeah, that is a thing. What else did we want? Did we build this one? Probably this one I built, didn't I? Yeah, that finished. Also, build without errors. I started this in the morning, right? T2 in the meantime, so amazing with like 3 years live code fixed on YouTube stuff, even just builds, right? So yeah, we have here some breakage. Just one sentence, I say everything is amazing, and then we have here some breakage. Oh, the irony. Isn't it ironic? Da, 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 da. One thing is actually I noticed that, so for PowerPC, so I think the main issue here with, where was this PowerPC even? The main issue here, darn, I didn't want to restart that. Oh, that was a fail. No, it takes, although it probably fails quickly. So PowerPC, we need to rebuild PowerPC. The issue I think is mostly, actually we could test the theory. Yeah, I think it builds for PowerPC 64LE, Little Onion. I think mostly the issue here is for our P3 and initial Apple G5 and stuff optimized build that we default to 32-bit for higher performance, especially on the P3, which doesn't have that much memory. And I guess Firefox fails here due to that because it doesn't find its file. It's probably maybe even Clang. So something between Clang default and actually maybe, yeah, we need to investigate this. I also noticed another thing, which now conveniently I killed the log file. It's complaining here somewhere. Yeah, so with Rust, previous video, we now optimize Rust more, and Rust and its LLVM backend complains that they don't know about G5. So we need to change we can cancel that already, and we, that also, does it mean, actually, let's test if we can test this. Like with either, which does work. Do we have PowerPC 64? PowerPC 64. Do we have Clang, or we have Clang? Maybe not such for directory. Maybe we don't have Clang. Which Clang? That Clang? Okay, maybe we use that Clang. So what does it do if does it correctly use PowerPC? supported emulations. Unrecognized it's using the wrong, okay, it tries to do, okay. Not the most important right now. We want something else, which is mCPU equals mCPU. Did you mean what? Does that even work? Or at least. I mostly wanted to pre-test that, not to waste a whole build. CPU equals G5. Is it what we used? CPU. Okay, at least something between maybe Clang. We could obviously fact check that if we wanted to. Maybe it is a little bit waste of time though, which is what we like to do here. And it's probably, so what GCC also supports is, so G5 should be equivalent to 970, I think. So we could simply change that. We mostly use that for readability. Here it has power 9 and so on. So I would think G5 should be equal, so G4 should be equal to 7450. And let's see. Dr. Schubert says issues are still piling up on GitHub. I wouldn't say this is necessarily a too bad thing. I mean, a lot of these issues on GitHub, of course, feature wishes of new package and stuff, and everything, or open office not compiling. But yeah, so a G4 should be equivalent to 7400 or so. But as other issues, also GCC, right, and Red Hat and SUSE. So yeah, you have enough stuff to choose from. Not everything is super high priority and the most important. So let's see, let's probably change that. What do we have here? So yeah, we use, what do we have, 750. So yeah, so that probably means we simply use 970. We use 7,000. What is it? 7,400, I guess. And 750. And theoretically we can change that like that. 74xx. I mean, I'm not even sure if 7450 will. I mean, it's also crazy. I benchmarked this a couple of times 15 years ago. It didn't even make much of a difference. So yeah, I think it's mostly pointless to add that, but if you desperately want, send a patch to add that. And the same, of course, for PowerPC. Here, so that would be also probably cell also doesn't work. But that is not my, I mean, it's ignoring that, right? So it's not like it will although it might use the wrong instruction set, but what do you have here? 970 using the same thing here. And yeah, if we theoretically could translate cell to something, but if that would be off, but yeah, it's getting deprecated anyway. So power, do we have power 10? Power 10, we have 2, so probably, whether do they have other CPU names? Because the cell was slightly different there. Okay, power 10, we probably want to add that while at it. One of those nice win-wins of working on some pointless stuff and at least having... So what do I type today? Also, maybe you want this written slightly different, but if any of those formatting naming triggers using, please send a patch. Not even, it probably should support big endian, shouldn't it? I mean, most distributions phase that out, but if it for some reason should not support big endian, we could always remove that from the not big endian choice there. So the only thing is we need to also, where's my, is it like here, or, oh wait a second, this was, I renamed that, oh, was it cleaner? Was it another system? Ah, I think it was, maybe it was user, maybe it was user. Maybe I should get rid of some, okay, fine, doesn't matter, we need to, wherever I have it, maybe I only have it on my SSD here, but whatever. We will find that out. To change G5 to 900, do we even build for cell? I hope we don't build for cell. Do we build for cell? Maybe if we build for cell, it's time to change that to. So let's see, we would want 970, there's our precious new power 10 as well. If IBM wants to promote their stuff, someone watching from IBM, they can not only browse our server, we are watching you, you can also send over such precious silicon for us to test and epic thread wrap on it. Dr. Schubert asks, cell removed. This is the PowerPC part, right? What was removed is the cell SPU, SPE stuff, not the PowerPC processing element. So that part is still there. And for the SPE, SPU, we have a second GCC SPE or so package that we obviously can use as long as it builds for decades to come. As long as it builds or we patch it. And let's see, notice, nice way to use time instead of just doing nothing during summer. Yeah, certainly open source stuff, especially ours, a nice way to educate yourself and contribute to the community and greater good. So should we, you know what, we can commit those together in my opinion. Minus plus, minus plus. I mean, very theoretically, do we have those in the 32-bit case? I mean, you could probe, oh, we don't even have that there. Yeah, not sure if it's, you could theoretically build for, you know what, let's just edit. I mean, it's for free, then, so 7,450. As it's there, let's support it, because why not, as long as it's there. But again, I think in my testing it, I could already not really find much of a difference between G3 and G4, so some of this optimization is also greatly overrated. So what else? 750. So my hope would be that this is so right now only my hope. I mean, yeah, maybe we should actually test that. All those business calling. So what do we got there? New diffuser 750 thing. Yeah. So yeah, a little interruption revert is calling those people who actually keep the bills paid. So let's see. Did I by the way not mute it? Maybe I forgot to mute it. Apparently that was. And so where were we? We were building here. We wanted to double check. Where do I even, probably somewhere like here? And do we have 7,450? Hopefully target loaded CPU. What? Task disk PowerPC same. Are they support G3 apparently? Oh, they have G4 and G4 plus. Look at that. Good that we didn't commit this yet. We can instant quality improvement. Too many. Can I have? There's one more architecture. Nothing like DOCSIS delay. G4 plus. There we have that. Nothing like having the most amazing configuration and documentation. And so they have lib driver, toolchains, Darwin, target PowerPC. So that should be lib. We wanted to double check what is with regards to G5. Do they not have G targets directory? What are targets? So they really don't have G. What? They also don't have G4. 7,450. They have this in lowercase. What? So GCC has them in uppercase and they have this in lowercase. That's like a genius. Probably someone totally didn't test that, right? Because if maybe someone never used that. Actually, they have 8548. Does GCC also have that? 854. Oh, we have that and never. I mean, there's also E300 and stuff, but power quick integrated host processor, world's first rapid I/O enabled host processor, gigabit Ethernet and stuff. Yeah, guess maybe we could add that too if we wanted to. Anyway, so G5 is here. I mean, we could always custom patch. Oh, wait a second. Do they even have case G5? Yeah, G5. There is some G5. ITVEC. Okay, they have this in this stuff. So yeah, someone ingeniously has chosen this lowercase and string switch case. Is this case sensitive or not? Who knows? Right now you need to study this standard vector feature string map of Yes, that is rather stupid. But anyway, we avoid that simply by using the number. And they have a short form. Look at this. They have power 8. Does GCC also have power 8? I mean short form of. Anyway, there we have that. Do they have cell? Maybe they don't have cell, huh? Yeah, they don't have cell. So what does it mean for us? For what did we even had there? That would be the first question. Yeah, I have this on my SSD. Anyway, we don't really need to optimize for cell. Maybe I had there. Did I had cell? Doesn't really. I mean, we could always patch it in, right? So patching this in is probably as easy as three conditionals there. Not too much of a big thing. Yeah, but this is also really stupid, right? You really wonder what those people, the few people who used LVM Clang for PowerPC, would this still be Apple? Probably not, huh? They probably had abandoned that. Yeah, but who? This is so crazy, right? This is a recurring theme here, right? Such an amazing project. The only thing that's not amazing is that it's so huge and supporting everything in the kitchen thing. Recurring theme of complexity. But then there's the small things, right? I mean, the configuration of headers and stuff is already super hard-coded, at least not outstanding technology, not state-of-the-art. And then they have this indifferent case, so it's rather crazy. Yeah, so where did we have this here? Let's commit that. You know what? Let's while at it, let's add this. Why not 8.5? What was it? 8.540. Not sure which. Yeah, I mean the others we could add and stuff, but if you ever have them, then this one would basically we just touch the 7,000 something. So let's add that too. Because why not? Doesn't cost much. Is this alright? Yeah. Wonder why they use 50 there, 7,450 and 8,540. So nothing like updating CPU defines. And recurring theme, right? In my next year resolution micro nano kernel stuff with JIT, on the fly stuff, right? Recurring theme of static code generation. Not necessarily the most amazing. So, because, yeah, why? Because who would want, except, yeah, sure, if you make an embedded system like a laser printer or network gear, then sure, you can optimize for specifically that. But otherwise, every one of you runs some statically compiled code that's less optimized than it could be, most likely, unless you run Gen 2 or T2. Changed PowerPC G3, G4, G5 optimizations to 750, 100 and 970 to match LVM Clang and Rust. Added 7,450. Oops. 750, 8, 540. Oh, what is with me, man? 8, T and 410 while at it. Was it all we did? Change PowerPC, G3, G4, G5 optimizations to 757. Edit 7, 450, 8, 540 and port 10. Do we need to look at the diff again? That here, that's there, power 10. I guess that's fine. Yeah, we could slightly kill that build away. And what do we have here? ARM64 kills this build also away just for, where do we have our PowerPC build? Here? Yeah, there for that to go faster. Maybe we have some results in the next minutes. Although I think it takes an hour. But anyway, so the profiles, to finish the profile stuff. And it's the usual win-win, right? Of, yeah, remembering just what you saw last night or in the morning, to improve that as well, because obviously we want Firefox the most optimized for G5 and cell. Where's our locale? So I would say, so we could simply squeeze it in here. Where is the set local, subnum, POSIX C, title, something, wait key of, where do we have here, main, unsettling, etc profile. By the way, I think in the future I should simply, you know, the recurring theme of my breaking white spaces here with non-breaking white spaces with that set locale sub is that here, and I simply should fix that by choosing an UTF-8 profile. So that would be, if not none, then that, and localedef. Simply run it here, I would say, until we realize we want something more. So we have the profile here. I mean, we could always, or we should always do some sanity checking, but this here would basically, where do we have that? So this here should be the last part before, after and before the dot, I think is how that should work. This is one. So we have here, that is the first EN US UTF. So yeah, this is, remove the trailing dot stuff, and here, that, let's test that. Like, oh, wait a second, we need, we can set this, I think, set EN US UTF-8. Ah, shit. EN US UTF-8, that looks good. I would say it's a quick hack solution. The only thing better, I mean, it's probably good enough for now. The only thing is maybe it's not the best style, this short form. We could localedef. No. Maybe use maybe that is more readable and so on. Maybe even run it first, otherwise for this moment of seconds. If people log in, not that would be the biggest issue, but maybe generate it first. We could actually test whether it exists, but yeah. We also should test that. Either we committed no or we wait for the build. Yeah, so that PowerPC build will take 1 hour, unfortunately. Did we? That should have a new config ID, right? Does it? PowerPC. Yeah, we had G5. Now we have that. Wait a second. We have this directory, and we can actually check what we built that with. Okay, here we simply had G5 and tune cell. So this would still work. We might specify this to Rust, and Rust will ignore that. Hopefully it shouldn't mess something up. The only thing is, unfortunately, theoretically, if we wanted to be the biggest pros here, we should actually check that specifying something Rust doesn't, or LVM, Rust and or LVM do not know about, that doesn't alter the primary optimization selection. And yeah, you never know. I mean, you could always think, that's the difference, right? You should always, another pro tip, always expect the worst, which is they might initialize the optimization stuff and then parse it, and so that it resets that to like nothing or whatever default. It could be, not saying it is the case, but this is also how bugs happen, right? Never expect something from your colleagues or other open source stuff like log4j. Actually validate that, but that might be another day. Which, by the way, we could build this. Oh, this was building with nice. Is this also building? Oh, this is also building with nice, which is, what do we build? Yeah. How long? 17. Yeah, it's the next week. Yeah, maybe we wait a second. Just yesterday I committed some broken revision, so maybe we better wait here for the result for test installation. That would then, yeah, GCC, I think we done that. So we always could do other stuff like CUTF-8 at compile time or something, but that is not for today. So that would basically be all, except, so basically the only thing we fixed freaking a lot 3 years alive on these channels would basically be probably all. Also clang, so let's build that without nice, so that we have one primary build here, and we can build this in the background, making the most efficient use of the CPU cycles. And how many other changes do we have here? This we would need to test what it does. Actually, does glibc, what was it? Was it once some, I think this libgd stuff. So the crazy, you know what? You know what? I'm not changing that. Because build dependency wise, this is not, this will not build anyway. Not even sure, does it still have this option? I'm not feeling like last minute causing me even more work. I think once they had some like memory graph or something of that sort, also I should stop doing this verbose. Yeah, so they have here with GD, yeah, malloc, so unless available GD, which something. So yeah, some graphing stuff, which probably you don't even want to use really anyway. So whatever. So that still exists, but features nobody really asked for. I would actually say, pro tip, the core libraries, LVM, Clang, GCC, Rust, and Standard, and C, and glibc, they should have the minimal features. And like memory allocations, I would say, or any other stuff, this should be additional, like not core, additional optional, like ideally totally C library and base system independent tooling, and not always built into everything. So someone asked, in terms of complexity, do you believe T2 to be more difficult to use over Gentoo? I have no, maybe the same. Gentoo, of course, has more developers. T2 is as vintage as Gentoo, like T2 with its Rock Linux successor and Gentoo were both created around 1996 to 1998 or so. And Rock Linux at the time also had quite some developers 20 years ago, and then everyone had to get a job and care about life and stuff. So from the original core team, not as many people are still around as I would have hoped. So the only thing is with Gentoo somehow attracted more people, maybe because maybe it was easier to use, potentially, being a little bit self-critical here and stuff, and certainly has more packages in terms of KDE and GNOME, but I would actually say creating T2 packages is easier. Maybe using Gentoo is easier, but creating T2 packages is easier, and we certainly will work on that. Speaking of which, someone yesterday posted at Discord some, we could probably check that live. Where was it? So many. Ruscan, config toml, grab something. There was someone posted, also we have here quite some stuff going on. Maybe even here. That was mold. Let's see, most common here, mold. What are they using? Byte order something, like that, another linker that apparently, maybe, I don't know if it has no features. Oh, they have mold 1.0, look at that. Would this just build? What do they use for building? I'm not saying I want to convert T2, or I just use a makefile. Apparently, but like, can never have enough packages, right? Let's quickly package that and call it a day. Let's actually check, do we have that? Oh, we don't have that. So LLD. So they claim blazingly fast. I'm not sure if that is with supporting all features and bugs and stuff, but can support this anyway, because why not? just for the fun of it, here we have a new package. What is their license? GPL3. Stable maybe. And working on multiple macOS, once changes things. First stable production ready race of high-speed linker, Linux systems just for maybe we should test that building, but yeah, but not really feeling like spending my time on this. I will package this and test build it. Maybe it will work, maybe it doesn't. What was it? Refs? What was the system archive? I think something like that. So mold one tar gset. Was it 0, 0 or yeah, it is. But what we will do for the new year is, of course, implementing probably not implementing old-fashioned stuff, but because old-fashioned stuff there is enough. Actually, we could paste that too. Something like here. Does they have a URL or all those new packages only a GitHub page, I guess. And is there some name somewhere? No name whatsoever. Okay, can we, is here a, oh, here's a name. So maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. If you test it, leave in the comments below. Of course it doesn't work. GitHub. Maybe without the... I need to get better memorizing this. Oops. Oops. Mini Lisp. Huh. Small C compiler even. Oh, that is however... Oh no, recent commit though. No longer inactive. Here's something though. Small C compiler. C11 including Git. It's not too bad. Git SQLite .png itself. Is the code better than TCC tokenized? Where is that? All of that. TCC has not the most. Argreg. What the heck? Yeah, okay, that looks relatively toyish and not how I would recommend. Yeah, maybe I should have looked at the source code of the linker, similar quality, or they just call ABI6AD Mango. Fair enough. Okay, anyway, what is the, so oh, this is also 0, 1, maybe it doesn't have, oh wait a second. Oh no, this is actually misleading. They write there 1, 0 and so archive version something and archive version, just without archives then maybe like that. That looks like it worked. Let's see what happens. Should we build this straight? No, it could possibly go wrong. Static used both and found T2 easier. Gentoo obviously has a surplus of packages, but so mentioned very simple to add. Yeah, like this, if it would build, which of course it doesn't. So mold, what's going on here? Maybe we did this wrong. Because we copied some stuff from, here's prefix, okay, prefix in capital. Because we copied from LVM, which is CMake or something, so it's probably why it, also object here, this is why here is that one. Prefix equals, do they have dest here? They also have dest here and it assigns it to D for, yeah. Okay, do they need this in, do they have this hard-coded? Maybe they deeper shared libs of, they have here some sub-project stuff, do they use that? Yeah, there's something in there, so maybe they configure that actually. Yeah, okay, fine, whatever. Try that again. Mold, only want to see. Yeah, we run prefix with lowercase, that is why I added it there. I already thought so. Most previously, decades ago, most than that was prefix lowercase. So what's our PowerPC doing? Oh, that is continuing to bootstrap. As you see, 3 years ago, my first videos stuff was more often breaking with exotic configuration stuff, or latest and greatest upstream regressions. Of course, it only took 3 years live streamed here on YouTube to fix and polish and quirk and patch all those configuration and build marginalities. And now we even mold. Have mold and potentially, yeah, Firefox. PowerPC still needs one more quirk at least, but then Firefox optimized with Rust code for G5, aka PowerPC 970. It still needs, I think it will not find, it's also LD and LD64 mold now, so you have that. And yeah, Firefox needs, I think, so this doesn't build, it can only be because, did I test for PowerPC 632? Actually, I'm not sure though, but because it builds for everything else that is supported for Rust and stuff and Clang, I can only imagine that must be our manually quirking of most stuff defaulting to 32-bit for the PowerPC3. So yeah, PowerPC3 optimization, or yeah, recurring everything takes. Yeah, if you custom quirk stuff, then you get custom quirked build errors, obviously. Cache mold goes here, and that of course builds fast like that. The rest probably looks good. Not sure if it really used XX hash, but maybe it does. So T2 has one package more. Recently we deleted one, so now we have one more. Let's see, some months ago we had 4004. Now we deleted some also, we added some but deleted some, so 4000 is already 30 packages over since January, since October or something. So yeah, maybe I should do a funny live stream, like more Linux from scratch, and import, like auto import stuff from the BSD ports, like write some conversion thing, and not that everything will build, but like auto add, like I don't know how much they have, like 5,000 or 10,000 packages, and at least, yeah, not sure if they have metadata compatible. Probably we can't reuse it one-to-one, but maybe we anyway could. The packages will not have amazing metadata like description and stuff probably, but otherwise preparing at least some metadata for others, like even if it doesn't build, like if it needs a patch or other quirks and features, at least all the metadata should be there. And yeah, leave in the comments below. But otherwise, New Year resolution, right? Next year is the year for microkernel, obviously. Let's see how much I can stick to that promise. But obviously we still support our T2 Linux because we need some professional state-of-the-art and stuff operating system for our own needs. Mold, did we, so we committed that somewhere, right? Where was that? There was mold. We can also notify our Discord about that. That would be here somewhere off, or maybe here, I guess. Seems cool. Yes, committed. Thanks for that. Highly appreciated. What else is going on here? This was the stuff we had just seen before that it just didn't unmark. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. That should sort of fix our, how long did we have? Probably we live streamed over 1 hour, right? As usual, you do some open source stuff, then 1 hour or 2. As usual, so then we only need to build this. The only problem is previous video, more main channel, Doxys, Vodafone stuff in Germany is still slow as shit. So I arsynced a test ISO to the data center last night, 155 or so K. Ridiculous, took 1.5 hours or some shit like this. Yeah, but it will not stop us, right? So, but this is also crazy, right? Business Doxys cable, previous video. But anyway, even if this rsyncs, because we have then 24 or so ISOs or 25, probably we need to fix some. By the way, do I have all configs here or are those all off? Yeah, probably. And some we can probably delete here, to be honest. Actually, they have all the. Yeah, okay, let's delete this later because like LM32. Which one could we use? We also need to test some. Was it Sparky's glibc? Which one did I even want to ship? I mean, Musel should work. Famous lots, by the way, this backup we can probably delete. Famous lost words also. So yeah, maybe, okay, maybe we don't need to test it now. I only wonder which UC libc builds did I wanted to ship? Also, we can delete that here already. Build of G5. Did I even delete this correctly? What have I done there? Oh, also best with build. So which because AVR and Blackfin for sure, but they use older GCC. Which one? Open risk for sure, or does do they have a glibc config? Microblaze maybe? No, what's this glibc? So many build configs. Which one was the use glibc we wanted to shim? Okay, fine. I don't need to test this now. Live stream is long enough. We continue testing at night. So that we have a weekend release. You can still vote for the naming if you are into such kind of things. And that would be here. So yeah, if you want to vote, then there you can still. Let's see, we need to switch the account without voting ourselves to see what is. So people want red pill. So yeah, apparently people want red pill. Potentially maybe. I also need to keep, I had some other ideas the last weeks. I always need to write. I mean, not that the code name would be too important. But anyway, there we have it. If you want to play along at home, you find that on t2sd.org in increasingly amazing shape. If you have packages to add, KDE GNOME updates, XFCE and so on, send patches our way, to me, to the list, Discord, YouTube comments, Reddit. Actually, what's going on Reddit? Reddit we have as well, obviously, because we have more people on Discord than we have on Reddit. Adding other options to the poll would be the problem with others. Sometimes I have that, but others option is basically you can always comment below, right? Sometimes I have others or comment below, but I waste an option. This YouTube polls only have 5. This is also really stupid, right? So I can't add here like 7 or so. It's always 5 max. It's like, thank you very much. Which is if I add their comment below, then I waste one option. This is why. Anyway, I only should have named this no name. I mean, maybe we name one then no name just because no code name would. The problem is I can't also edit those. Even though I had like 0 votes, I was thinking like I should have actually used no name, but no. Whatever. So I can't edit it now. I can only delete that. And yeah, maybe no name would be cooler than no code name. But anyway, totally not important. It's just a little bit fun, right? Entertain people and so on. So yeah, that is coming along nicely. Probably nearly everything I ever wanted from my little Linux distribution. Only live on this channel. I slightly wonder if, but anyway, we're on Unify. What do you mean? The problems with some, I don't even quite know what you mean. Anyway, so have some other stuff to do. Hope you enjoyed this, learned something. We have finally hopefully solved that. We'll test it soon. The only other thing is new follower 16 hours ago. Welcome there. The only thing I wonder is because by default, if you So there's like still one configuration installation marginality, which is you are installing that wrong, obviously. Because if you do not choose a locale, you don't get UTF-8 support, and then even Tmax will complain like you don't have a UTF-8 locale. So I wonder if importing this here as a last minute change. The only thing is like it's work and but maybe importing that and making the default glibc locale C UTF-8 would be a good idea. Release plan or something. When do they even? August, current development version, February. So yeah, this is still, yeah. I mean, we had this for like 20 years like this, so like maybe leave it. Yeah, maybe I should probably get better of not wasting my time with random stuff. So, but anyway, leave in the comments below what you think, and have a good day or night. I hope to see you soon for all the more live code and fun stuff to come. Question: is it too hard to configure? Well, it's using the upstream stuff, right? For 99% of the stuff. I mean, for total newbies, I would actually say T2 is certainly not easy, but it teaches you to use all the upstream projects, configuration and stuff. I don't know if you've leave me in the comments below. Maybe try it and yeah, download it, try it, and leave us in the comments below if you found it easy or not, or what your findings are and so on. So see you next time.